What up, y'all? Mr. Zoo Nation, aka Savage Charmer Jones and Rafa, coming at you with another rant. Today, we're going to be talking about Vanguard triggers with abilities. Now, I'm gonna be real with you. This is like my eighth recording of trying to do this. Like, this should have been out like Saturday, but I've been, you know, a lot of things been happening. So, honestly, I'm gonna try to keep it as short as possible. Like the only reason why I haven't uploaded this like earlier is because I'm trying to keep everything in a timely manner and it keeps going over 40 minutes. So I'm definitely trying to hope I can stay at least under 20. So anyway, today we're going to be talking about triggers with abilities or triggers with effects. I'm going to call it triggers with abilities. I feel like it's a lot easier. Um and if everything sounds simplified, it's basically because I'm trying to keep it on a timeline. But anyway, the reason why we're talking about this is I'm gonna be real with you. It's not because Overdress is supposed to be announced or what Overdress is supposed to be next week. So obviously, you will think of this as, I guess, like a prediction video, but not really because that's not the reason why I'm making this. But anyway, um the reason why I'm making this is because this has been an ongoing debating topic in my play group for like months. And I mean months. Because, like, there's one part of the play group who believes that we should have triggers with abilities in standard format, which I can kind of sort of understand from a from a Vanguard veteran standpoint. But then I'm on the spectrum of I don't think we should really have that. Not right now. Like I feel like we should have it, but not right now. And so I'm completely against the idea, but at the same time I'm up with the idea. And honestly, I want to give my opinion as to why I feel like this shouldn't be a thing. Um Basically because I feel like that Bushiroad has a relapsing problem. Bushiroad, in my honest opinion, does not know how to manage everything in a balancing matter. Well, in a balancing matter eventually. Like here's the thing. Um they know how to balance, but then they but then they relapse into a power creep mode. And that's basically the fear of the triggers right now. It's like, okay, having triggers with ability is cool, but what would happen when it starts getting out of pocket? And that's basically my main reason as to why I don't think we should have triggers with abilities in standard. Because once they get out of pocket, then people are going to start like questioning their loyalty to this game in general. Because I mean, let's be real. Um, especially looking at what happened in today's stream, um, a lot of things are questionable right now. Like, I'm looking at like for a prime example, I'm looking at Get Steel, and the balance of it is in order to get all four effects, they have to have 20 cards in soul. And at the same time, they don't gain a marker for playing this particular card. But then you look at premium format, and they're at 20 cards and sold by the grade 3 turn, to be honest. Or if it's not the grade 3 turn, it's most definitely the first strike turn. So, um, and then you have that fourth ability that at the time of recording this video, um, you can basically kill your opponent with it. It's basically the original Dust skill all over again, but I'm not going to spend time on this video talking about it. I'm just saying that Bushiroad has a problem when it comes to balancing, because eventually all of that balancing is just going to end up with power creep. That's what we're looking at right now. Um, so if I had to give any prime example of triggers with abilities that I feel like will be a representative as to why to not have triggers with effects in standard format, I've chosen three. The first one is Taro from Genesis. You have Uwatir from Gear Chronicle, and you have Refros from Angel Feathers. Um, two of these triggers is already hit on the restriction list. The last one, which is Taro, was always on the watch list but never got hit, which I still to this day don't understand how that happened, but it's just me. Anyway, the reason why I chose these three particular triggers in general is because these three particular triggers ended up in a loop combo. Um they ended up in a loop combo, and they not only ended up in loop combo, they also kind of sort of broke the game in some form or fashion. Taro was kind of sort of the lesser of the three because the Wiseman loop was kind of on and off. Like one format it'll be very busted, the next format it'll be kind of meh, and then it won't get busted again until Genesis gets support again, or some BS like that. But now we're seeing how retarded the card is with Valkyrian now, because you already know, Valkyrian could basically restand himself if like if the drive trigger check was a stand trigger. So he'll attack, he'll do a drive check. If one of them is a stand trigger, he'll most definitely restand. And honestly, that's kind of sort of an issue at the moment, especially if you're not playing a control deck like, let's say, Kagero, or something like that. Honestly, well, not just Kagero, but like maybe like Nubatama or Link Joker or anything else. Basically um any deck that is allowed to hit the rear guard circle, basically, those become the huge issue. And if Taro was in the soul, then you actually have the ability of extending the combo once again, just in case like those drive checks don't hit another stand trigger. She's in the soul. You basically have the ability of resetting the combo and whatnot, which is kind of sort of BS in a way. But anyway, what I'm basically trying to say is that card definitely needs to get hit. I will admit that, and I don't think it'll really change much, but it has caused a lot of issues ever since it's been released. Like, I'm gonna be real with you on that. Then you have Uwatir, which was obviously contributing to the Melon Wombo combo, which put Gear Chronicles at tier 0. Now, to be fair, around the time this combo existed, G Guardians wasn't like really a thing yet. But even when they were, it was still kind of powerful. Like, it stayed powerful for a very cool minute. And like I said, this was the thing that made Gear Chronicles like tier 0, basically. Or if it wasn't tier 0, it was definitely tier 0.5. Like, that would be like the highest I'll go. Like, if it wasn't tier 0, it was definitely tier 0.5. Like, it caused that much of an issue. And it lasted for a very long time. Like, let's be real on that. So, honestly, what was it? It was him, Melum, TikTok Worker, Metallica Phoenix, and Chrono Jet, of course. So, obviously, those 5 particular cards just completely dominated Vanguard at one particular point. But to be honest, most of it was between Melum, TikTok Worker, and Uwatir, to be honest. Because Uwatir was the one that kept netting you hand. So that was basically a thing. And like I said, like, He will be a prime example of another trigger that honestly this will be a bad idea putting in a standard format. Now, last but not least, you have Refros, which basically not only promoted deck thinning in Angel Feathers, but also got up to a point where your whole field had infinite attack. And that's not fun to go against. Like, let's be real on that. This was also a card that came out like before G Guardians. So this, yeah, so even though like it came out before G Guardians, but even before that, there's no way in hell you're gonna be able to stop 5 infinite attacks. Even if you're trying to like hold on to all your PGs, knowing that even before the infinite combo hits, you know, Angel Feathers hits like a truck. Like, let's be real on that. Like, they didn't necessarily need the combo in order to do it, but that was their low key finisher, so there was that. But honestly, these three particular triggers basically broke the game in some form or fashion, and honestly, that's the fear that I see when it comes to these particular with triggers with abilities in standard format. It's all like we went from the Markle draw, which was basically putting himself into the soul and giving one of your units 3k, to these three particular cards. Nah, I don't think nah fam. I don't think that's cool. Not at all. So that's basically my reason. It's like, yo, when how long is it gonna be until we get Refros version 2? Um how long is it gonna be till we get Uwatir version 2 or Taro version 2? It's already bad enough we're getting original effect dust version 2 in standard format. What makes you think that Bushiroad is not eventually going to redo this same mistake again? However, if I did have to give a reason as to why triggers with abilities should be in standard format, I will basically have to say this. Standard format needs to evolve. Like, let's be real on this. I understand what Bushiroad was trying to do when they were doing the reboot. The standard format was supposed to be simplified so that a lot of newer players, would try to get into the game and they don't have to go through all that, you know, complexity that Vanguard once had. But let's be real, it's been, standard formats existed for almost 3 years. Like, I think once it's May or June, it will be 3 years. My thing is this: it needs to evolve. I feel like that we've had enough new players to get into the game. Now let's evolve the format so, for one, it doesn't become dull, and two, um it actually, you can start putting combos in standard format and trying to make it like not too complex, not like Yu-Gi-Oh complex, but like a little bit more like into it, if that makes any sense. Like, it's kind of hard to explain, but at the same time, the fear is that's kind of sort of what they're trying to do right now, and so far it's kind of falling apart because I'm looking at, like, let's say the new version of Chaos Breaker Dragon, and the newer version of Chaos Breaker Dragon forces you to think, and that's kind of sort of something that I want as far as the evolution of standard format, is to basically make you think more about your plays instead of just straight going in thinking that everything is going to be okay with like minor flaws. Like, I kind of feel like that there needs to be a punishment system, I guess, in standard format. I don't know. It's something that I have to like look a little bit more in depth to, but I want something that it kind of sort of keeps like everything that standard format's been doing in the first year and a half. Like I want to say prior to um Bermuda's coming into the game, where everything had a cost. The game was slowed down a lot. Like I kind of also feel like the game needs to slow down a lot too. But I also feel like that the game needs to be more strategic than it is right now. And um if you were to add triggers with effects, with abilities, I feel like that would be like the best case scenario. But at the same time, Bushiroad relapses into, power creep territory. So we might get that, but then eventually we're going to get something like basically everything that happened in 2020 Vanguard. But I want to know what everybody else think for right now. This was actually a pretty interesting topic to talk about. I'm still at the moment not really up for triggers with abilities until Bushiroad could fix their act. But for now, my name is Mr. Zoo Nation, aka Savage. I'm a Jim Giraffe. Stay frosty.